Hey, what's up guys, Rachit here from World of VFX. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to teach you how you can create a little bit of unique cinematic landscape inside of Unreal Engine. So let's get started. So we are in Epic Games Marketplace and I'm going to use this Electric Dream Environment Pack. By the way, this is completely amazing and 100% free until at least when I'm creating the video. It's free right now, but yeah, you can just simply open it while after downloads around 90 GB. So just simply open it, and after open it will see like this. So in this assets we have a lot of static meshes. So if you just click on the content pack and select the static meshes, you can see the amazing forest assets right over here, and all assets are premium. So we are going to use this assets but not in this project file. So what I'm going to do, and we're just going to migrate this. So simply select this assembly folder, just right click, and you can find this option called migrate. So we are doing this to use this assets to a new Unreal Engine file. Simply click this migrate and everything will load. And if you don't find selected, just simply select all. Make sure no need to select any engine. So just check everything is selected. Yup, and press OK. So now it will redirect to your folder where you want to save your these assets. So here, for example, this is my new folder which I'm going to use. And instead of content pack, you can find all these things. Okay, now here you can find this option called collection. So if you want, you can simply use this under the collection. Also, you can place it right over here and simply press select folder. And once you press select folder, the migration process will start. Now, honestly, it will take a lot of time, around 20-25 minutes based on your system. And once it's done, you can open your final Unreal Engine. And here you can find exact same assembly folder with the same static meshes. So simply click this content and just click the static mesh and you can find everything with the material. Now there's a one point: if you don't enable few settings, the materials will comes in a black. So that is called substrates. So go to edit and then go to project settings, and here you can find on the rendering section, simply click. This is called substrate. So you just need to check on everything, and after that simply type ray tracing and make sure you have to turn on support hardware ray tracing on the editor panel and enable ray tracing as well. And once you do this, Unreal Engine will ask you for restart. Simply restart and just close it. So now you have all these assets, and now let's start building a new landscape. So first of all, go to file, new level, empty level, press create. Now before moving forward, let's make everything in a proper folder. So just go to the escape folder. I have already done before, so simply delete this. Now go to Windows and our basic process, environment, light and mixer, and just simply check on all the basic lights, and going down you can find volumetric fog. Simply check this and close. Now we have done our lighting setup, so make sure select all the lights and convert it into folder, and make sure you have to rename the folder to around, let's say, light. After that, and let's create a landscape. So go to landscape, and from import file I'm going to use one height map. So just simply open it. By the way, height map link is in description box below. Let's change it to 5 and press import, and you can find some sort of beautiful landscape, some bit of displacement. Okay, cool. Now let's get back to the selection tab. And now you're going to import ocean pack. Not exactly ocean, I'm going to import a lake. So for that, first of all, you need to enable one plugin. Basically, you have to enable few plugins. So just type water and make sure you have to check all this water tab, and just simply restart your Unreal Engine. And now here you can find called place actors panel. Simply click and type lake. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. And now simply drag and drop the lake somewhere here. So now we have this lake created here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just making this pretty large because the environment which I'm going to create, it will be a large environment. So just increase the camera speed so that it will, okay. Now just drag it and automatically you can see it start increasing. Now I'm going to use this as a starting point, and these two is my ending point. Okay, so now I'm going to add few points right over here. So add spline points and one add spline points here. Now simply select this, just rotate it a bit. Okay, cool, something like this. So it means the water lake is going from this direction to this direction, and also here simply like this. And now select this vertex and select the bezier And what I'm going to do, simply drag it to make it a little wider. Alright, our basic creation is done. Now if you notice, the waves are not that real as like lake happening. So simply select that water body lake. Now going down, you can find this called water wave asset presets. Simply click this one. And here you can find basically all these options like amplitude, direction, whatever. So what you can do, minimum wavelength, change it to 250. So the wavelengths are changed. Now the maximum numbers of waves, let's change it to 5. So very soft little movement will be here. And now the scored amplitude, let's change it to 2. And also the direction of the wind, let's change it to 95. So the water direction are right now changed. And now maximum wavelength, change it to 8000. So it's very soft, little kind of a movement. Now I'm going to add one character because that will create you world scale. So just simply select the content pack and type man. And I have already imported this mannequin. So simply drag and drop this to here and just rotate it in a different direction. And now I'm going to import one camera. So first of all, select the character like this, and from perspective, from click here, cine camera actor, and right click and click the snap object to the view. So you have something like this. Now change it to DSLR and no crop to 2.39. So this is my crop. Now in the lens settings, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create little wide, also in a zoom format. So let's change it to, let's say 85 millimeter. Now it's pretty zoom, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to push it in little backwards so that it will look something like this. Now see, when you zoom something and then you push the camera back, it's actually looking cinematic. So once you are done with this, now let's import our assets and then we can kit brush all the things. So first of all, select this static mesh and simply select this assembly, and also you can use this content one. Now I'm going to use one by one assets, and first of all you have to import all the assets here, otherwise it will take a lot of time to import. So I'm just select and just drag. Now simply take a new folder and just type to map, select this, and first of all select the camera, pin it here. And now just simply select one, just press Alt and drag. Now it will automatically duplicate. Now first we are going to block the entire foreground area so that we can understand what exactly we are going to create. So now let's push it here, slightly push it down. So this is a block. Okay, cool. Now for this area, just duplicate by holding Alt and just rotate it slightly. And here it's done. Now let's use the same one, just to duplicate it by holding Alt, just simply duplicate, and let's make something unique. So I'm just pushing this little fast forward so that entire process will not become a little slow. Tunnel creation is done, and if I'll go to this camera view, let me show you, and this looks pretty nice. Now we don't have anything in the foreground, so we have to first cover the foreground area, but before that let's change the lighting directions a little bit so that it's looking a little premium. So what I'm going to do, I'm just pushing it a little 90-degree kind of a thing. Now let's cover the foreground area. Now for the foreground, I need this camera scope, so simply pin it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add few assets just right in the foreground area so that it can close the lights. For the foreground, I have few large assets, so what I'm going to do, simply drag and drop. So just scale it pretty high. Now just rotate this so that we can find the exact space and push it a little down. Now press Alt and duplicate. Now the plus point is this asset have already pre-animated trees, so you no need to add trees after this. So just go for it, just use it, and that's it. Now I'm going to duplicate this few more times to close the entire background, or you can call this FG background. Now for the extreme foreground, the camera blur is very important. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use few foliage assets, also few trees, to get some kind of a depth in our scene. So this is called BPP wall. Simply drag and drop, press F. Now this is basically a very default level of foliage which you can use. So now what I'm going to do, simply push it in, and let's push it a little up slightly here. Now this will create a depth. Literally this will create a depth. Some here, by holding Alt, just rotate this directions slightly here. Now talking about the camera blur. Camera blur is very important. So select the camera, and going down you can find this called focus distance, or called aperture. So before changing the aperture, go to the lens settings and minimum f-stop, change it to 0. And now you can change it to 1.2. Now automatically the scene start adding blur. So I'm going to focus on my character. So select this focus and just select the dropper and select this mannequin. So now if you notice, automatically the background are blurred and the character is in focus. But if you don't want this, I have a solution. Simply select this and change the focus distance to somewhere here. So this area will be in focus and this area is entirely out of focus. Now turn this off, just change it to 1. Amazing. Foreground is completely blurred, but it's not looking that real. So just change it to 1.8, which looks good. Now let's add some ground assets to fill the ground. Like this ground is very, empty. So I have few ground assets to fill this. So let's import and hit bus one by one. Before filling the entire ground, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the ground assets, because this is already a checkerboard. Simply going to Fab, and I'm going to download one asset. So simply go to this material and textures, and from here you can select this free only products. Now you have all the Quixel Megascan assets which you have already downloaded before. So now you can use it. So for this, I am using this stone flow. Also you can use any other like mossy rock floor and all, but I'm going to use this stone flow. So simply select this. Now from here, just use the high quality and add to project. And after that, simply close it. Now I'm going to add this asset to the ground. Simply select the ground. Now this is the asset and I have my landscape right over here. Now going up, this is the default material. Simply drag and drop and it's added. Now just double click and I'm going to use this tiling effect. Simply go to the styling effect. Now make it to 0.2. And the scale is pretty good. Yeah. Now to enable nanite displacement, just double click on this parent material and make sure you have to see this displacement should checked on. And now you can simply type nanite and make sure this displacement options will here. And before closing, just click here and type nanite and just enable nanite. Now just zoom in a little bit here and just press build data. Now can you see some changes in the ground? So what I'm going to do, simply turn it off and turn this on. So this will basically create some nanite tessellation or nanite displacement. Now you can simply use this magnitude. So let's say 2 to push this little up. Now see the displacement are happening. Now simply close this. I want a bit of displacement which I have already achieved. Now the textures looking something like this because I have already texture streaming spooled. It's very high budget. So don't worry, once you render, it will not impact on your screen. Now let's add few foliages on this area because this area is now looking very narrow. If you see, it's very narrow. So I have to use few assets as in foliages. So first of all, just turn this off and select all this BPP and just name it to BPP. So everything is arranged right now. So now let's use the foliage section. And from here you can exactly browse your foliage. But in this case you can't because everything is right now on this Megascan asset pack. So simply go to this Megascan and 3D plants, all the static meshes. Now you can use the static meshes right from here. So I'm going to use first the trees, like big trees and medium trees all together. Select, drag and drop. Again, it will take time to load. So you have 4 different type of trees. Now I'm going to use single instance mode. So if I'll click, let me show you. If I'll click, the trees are start spawning here. Oh, nice. So let's do it pretty randomly, and let's make the scene more real. So the trees are looking absolutely nice. So now let's add few trees exactly in the foreground. So that will drag and drop process. So let's add few trees, decrease the size going in, and let's use this one. Now these small assets basically helps you to create so much realistic scene. So just push it here, holding Alt, duplicate it. Now at the very last part, few trees I'm going to add which can move independently. Now the next step is all about the lighting and the final camera position. So now just jump into the cinema camera actor. So this is my camera. So if I'll push it here. So now if you don't want this bluish kind of water, so what you can do, simply going down and you can find this water material, just double click. And you can find this called global vector parameter. Simply turn this on, and from here you can exactly change the watercolor. You can exactly control the colors right from here. So I just make it a little bit brightish, and let's change the blue value to little down so that you can find this green kind of a color. So the water looks also nice. Now the next part is the lighting, as I mentioned earlier, because for this scene the lighting is always important. And let's place the lighting in a pretty good direction. The next part is all about the environment, so which is our this lighting inside, and going to click this environment light and fog. Now just change the fog to 1. So this is the exact fog density, but we are not going to use this. So just increase the fog height fall off. So first of all, positioning your camera. So maybe this is my camera position, something like this. After that, going down, this is called scattering distribution. So just increase it a little further. Change the environment color to a little yellow tint. Starting distance, just make it here, because I don't want the fog should be here pretty much. I want the fog will come here. Now the next part is select the directional light and type OCC. This is called occlusion. Just turn this on. This will basically create to help some God rays. Then again, select the exponential height and fog and just push the fog to a little upward so that the fog density will increase. Now select the directional light, and now you can rotate the light directions so that you can find your exact lighting for your scene. And the lighting is done, the basic setup is done, and I am done from my end. Now let's make some camera animations and make it finalized. So first of all, save all. Now select here, go to add level sequence, and in fact I'm going to use the multiple cameras. So here it's called add level sequence with the shots. So I need around 5 shots, okay, or let's say 3 shots is more than enough, and all the shots around 5 seconds, so total will be 15 seconds sequence. And create level sequence with the shots. So now this is the level sequence. So we have total 3 sequences. Just double click and select the camera. So this will be the first camera setup, okay, the first which I have doing it right now. So first I'm just delete the mannequin and select the first camera, and now again we have to do some basic changes. So minimum stop, so change it to 0, and after that let's change it to 1.2. crop is okay, like 2:39. So the first camera animation around somewhere here. So by the way, press G on your screen so that it can hide all these things. Now if you don't want your focus to be there, you can want like the focus first will be here. Just change the focus distance and then push it a little backwards. So in this case also I'm doing it, so let's make it here. The focus will be here right now, as you can see. Close it, and now let's add the camera animation. So first of all, go to this transform, click, go to last frame. Now change the camera speed to low, and now just push the camera slidewards like this, and camera little upwards, okay, and click keyframe, select this to right click, linear. Now change the focus distance as well, but before that check the camera speed. Yup, pretty real. And now see the camera animation. Okay, now what I'm going to do, simply select the manual focus distance. To select this, go to last frame, and now the focus distance will be somewhere here, and the foreground is blurred, and add this keyframe. So now if you check with the camera view, perfect. Now select this first keyframe and push it a little back, so it feels like camera is already started, not like sudden start. Okay, so this is good. Now we'll jump into the next shot. So how you can go back, just simply click here, select this. So this is our next camera. Now select the camera, select it, and now you can see S8 shot 02. So this will be our second shot. So let's change the camera direction. So maybe next shot will start from here. And first of all, just select the transform key, going the next frame, just push it slightly this, and add one keyframe, just drag, right click, linear, and this is the camera. Wow, looking perfect. And also here also I'm going to add the manual focus. So first of all, let's change the focus to here, the leaves, add a keyframe, now go to last frame, automatically the focus will shift it to here. That's it. Now see, perfect. Next, the last shot, just go here, select the camera. So the next shot will something like this, bit of low angle of water. Select the camera, just push it slightly. Now I'm not changing any focus distance for this scene because this looks good. All right, everything is done right from here. And now if you play, this is the camera sequence. Now let's add one last thing, which is called post-process volume. So simply select and from visual effects, post-process volume, and type infinite bounds, and just turn this off and go to exposure, and just simply turn this exposure to 1 by 1. So now you can lock to the exposure. Now also you can turn on this exposure to 2. So same, the lighting setup will back, but if you notice, there will be no lighting changes in your scene. Okay, so here you can control everything. So first of all, turn on this bloom, okay, intensity. So this will create a little bit of a bloomy scene, something like this. And now in the local exposure panel, simply turn this on and turn this middle gray bias. Just turn this pretty up. Now in the color grading section, go to this global contrast and just push the blue little up. And after that, you have to render this out. So simply click this unsafe configuration. First of all, delete the JPEG sequence. Let's add it to EXR and also simultaneously PNG. Okay, this is too important. Now next one is anti-aliasing. Now if you don't want any motion blur, simply turn on this spectacle sample count to 16. Turn this on. And last is called camera. Now just check frame close, render all cameras. In the output sections, change it to 4K and 4K as well. Select this and change it to 30 FPS because we already done this in 30 FPS. Now accept, change your location where you want to render it out, and you can press render local. So yes, that's it for today. It's a detailed video. I hope you can create this simple environment using a lot of new assets from Electric Environment Pack. And if you feel this video helpful, then definitely comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.